Hi, my little peeps. We told you that chapter 3 was coming. Here it is. Just wanted to say before I start that a lot of you have been watching and a couple of you subscribed, but not all of you have. So if you have a friend that you know you can get in contact with, whether it's sending them a text or a snap or even a TikTok, encourage them to check out our channel so that they can join in on the fun, because not all of you are, and we want as many of you to be able to enjoy it as possible. So Miss Demers read chapter 2 to you last week. I believe it was titled Who? And I am going to be reading chapter 3 to you, which is titled The Snatch. Also, before I start reading, I'm going to post an assignment on Google Classroom. It's going to be a Google slide, just like you use with Miss Demers in math. There's some vocabulary in it. There's some comprehension questions. And there's even like a drawing, like artistic piece. So when you finish watching this video, I would head over to Google Classroom if I was you and start on the assignment. There's like 3 slides, maybe 4. The vocab is probably the trickiest part because I'm not explicitly teaching you the vocab, but I did have links. I did put links into the Google Slides. So if you click the word, it'll explain what the word means to you. It'll also say it out loud for you. So it should make things a little easier. At least I hope it will. And this is my first run through with it. If it doesn't work out, or if I need to change it or edit it or fix it, this is like a trial and error kind of deal. So you guys are pretty good with that, and you'll let me know how you like it or you don't. So let's get into chapter 3, The Snatch. Again, I'm reading my phone. I'm not being rude and not looking at you. The Snatch. Under the blanket, Sophie waited. After a minute or so, she lifted a corner of the blanket and peeped out. For the second time that night, her blood froze to ice, and she wanted to scream, but no sound came out. There at the window, with the curtains pushed aside, was the enormous, long, pale, wrinkly face of the giant person staring in. The flashing black eyes were fixed on Sophie's bed. The next moment, a huge hand with pale fingers came snaking in through the window. This was followed by an arm as thick as a tree trunk, and the arm, the hand, the fingers were reaching out across the room towards Sophie's bed. This time, Sophie really did scream, but only for a second, because very quickly the huge hand clamped down over her blanket and the scream was smothered by the bedcloths. Sophie, crouching underneath the blanket, felt strong fingers grasping hold of her, and then she was lifted up from her bed, blanket and all, and whisked out of the window. If you can think of anything more terrifying than that happening to you in the middle of the night, then let's hear about it. The awful thing was that Sophie knew exactly what was going on, although she couldn't see it happening. She knew that a monster, or giant, with an enormous, long, pale, wrinkly face and dangerous eyes, had plucked her from her bed in the middle of the witching hour, and was now carrying her out through the window smothered in a blanket. What actually happened next was this. When the giant had got Sophie outside, he arranged the blanket so that he could grasp all the 4 corners of it at once in one of his huge hands, with Sophie imprisoned inside. In the other hand, he seized the suitcase and the long trumpet thing, and off he ran. Sophie, by squirming around inside the blanket, managed to push the top of her head out through a little gap just below the giant's head. She stared around her. She saw the village houses rushing by on both sides. The giant was sprinting down the high street. He was running so fast, his black cloak was streaming out behind him, like the wings of a bird. Each stride he took was as long as a tennis court. Out of the village he ran, and soon they were racing across the moonlit fields. The hedges dividing the fields were no problem to the giant. He simply strode over them. A wide river appeared in his path. He crossed it my goodness, Miss Carp. He crossed it in one flying stride. Sophie crouched in the blanket, peering out. She was being bumped against the giant's leg like a sack of potatoes. Over the fields and hedges and rivers they went, and after a while a frightening thought came into Sophie's head. The giant is running fast, she told herself, because he is hungry and he wants to get home as quickly as possible. And then he'll have me for breakfast. End of chapter 3. There's 2 pictures in here, and I'm going to try to show them to you, but if they don't come through as good as I think they will, I apologize. But there's this picture, which is basically the hand opening the blanket. And then there's this one of them striding through the fields. I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger for you. Just so you guys can picture in your mind what's going on in the text. Okay, so just a really quick recap. Please don't forget to tell your friends about the channel. Also encourage them to go on Google Classroom if you can. We want to get to as many of you as possible, but some of you are watching and most of you aren't, but we want everybody to. So reach out to your friends, text them, TikTok them, snap them, do whatever you have to do to get them to check out our channel. And don't forget to head on over to Google Classroom as well. Hope you enjoyed chapter 3. Chapter 4 will be coming soon. Miss Carp, out.